Okay, yeah, it's a phone call. Yeah, welcome you to my day. Welcome you to my world. There are some things I'm just not going to edit out. I'm not going to redo. You hear my phone ring. If I stop the video, take the phone call, that's just a day in my life. The one thing I wanted to come back and tell you, this, and this was the about the first time that I made this, um, first or second time, and it's been quite some time. I keep it in the freezer unless I'm using it. This is one of my natural oil concoctions, and it works for everything. I mean, skin, nails, the whole nine yards. Yards. I can't talk straight today. Um, that happens too. Welcome to my world. This is a mixture. The only thing that is different from most everything that I mix for hair, skin, and body, this is specifically lip. Um, what's the word? Specifically designed um, with some cling for lip balm. Um, if you look at my lips, you see all of this. There's something apparently in lipsticks, and it's hit or miss. I'm not going to bash any products because I found it's happened with Estee Lauder, it's happened with Revlon, it's happened with L'Oreal, it's happened with several things. There's something in them that hit or miss my lips are allergic to, and they react, they crack, um, all kinds of neat stuff. And apparently, um, whatever I wore yesterday, or I just didn't. Something happened yesterday, so I have a little bit of chapping. I don't know if it was my fault or product fault. That being said, I have a Gabriel coming to. I guess we may do his introduction video today because he may not give me a choice. Um, yeah, it's always a hoot on the big comfy bed. Anyway, um, this is coconut oil, little bit of beeswax. Like I said, it's geared to stay on your lips. Not so much beeswax that you can't use it on your face or your nails or the rest of your body, but just enough because if coconut oil is oh so good for your lips, but minus the beeswax, it tends to not last very long. As far as visibly, the effects last wonderfully, but as far as visibly, not so much. Um, Coconut oil, jojoba, olive oil, beeswax, and I can't remember the other oil that I put in here. I want to say aloe vera. That's what I'm thinking. Um, my husband has been a Blistex addict since we were in Germany 6 years ago. Um, and I mean, he literally had to have a tube with him at all times. And in doing research on various different things, most lip balms have alcohol. So what happens is you put them on, they feel oh so good when you first put them on. This is not the one, this is a beeswax one. I do have one that has peppermint oil in it. Um, so, because you can tailor it, and peppermint oil will make your lips feel better. It provides that soothing. Some companies are going back to saying, okay, we're adding this new thing because it's soothing and better for your lips. They're just figuring out that the consumers are figuring out chemicals. Um, anyway, most lip balms have alcohol in them. So when you first put them on, they feel wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Your lips are going, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so after a bit, because alcohol evaporates, you're left with, excuse me, you're left with dry, tight, filling lips. So you need more. When I made this, I have smaller containers that I put it out into, and I put it downstairs for my husband to use by his recliner. he started using it, and now he's got some Blistex that he's using up because I bought it when I did coupons. And I'm just going to tell you, people, couponing is a great thing. Don't get me wrong. I did it when we first started the church food ministry. Sent things to a local Hope Center. Um, it became, for me, it became a job. It became a task. It became something that just um, I started seeing a lot of waste. We'll leave it that way. And I'm not knocking anybody that does anything with coupons. What you do is your business, not mine. What I'm saying is, for me, I started seeing a lot of waste. And I also started to see kind of an expectation. You know, it's kind of like, okay, um, we'll just come to your house and shop, which was fine and dandy. Or, you know, always, okay, I ran out of this. Do you have it in your store? Which is what we call them at my storage area downstairs. Um, and I don't mind to help anybody, but my main goal with that was to make sure that my family was taken care of, that I could donate to the homeless shelter and things of that nature. Um, and just to be real honest with you, I'm all about giving, um, but there comes a point in time where you have to just step back from stuff sometimes and say, okay, I have to take care of immediates. And for me, immediates are, okay, dad. Um, you know, my dad has cancer. My dad has stage 4 cancer. Um, and although we are still in palliative care, and I am thankful, 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 thankful that it is still palliative care. Every fiber of my being, right down to my baby toenail, is thankful that it is still palliative. Um, but for me, it became, you know, like I said, I started seeing a lot of waste. I started, you know, some of the products that I purchased were discontinued. So once I used that up, you know, one of them was a 3-sprayer cleaner that I thought was the bomb. I loved it. I had one in the bathroom, one in my main bathroom, and one in the kitchen, and one downstairs. And I had another one somewhere just because I don't like uneven numbers. I'm sorry. It's a quirk of mine. You know, my mom and everybody that knows me will tell you I don't buy one of anything. I mean, sometimes I do, but for the most part, there has to at least be two. It just is what it is. I don't like the radio on an uneven number for volume. I'd rather have it too soft or too loud than an uneven number. It will bug me. Driving down the road, it will bug me. And I know if it's on an uneven number. That's the sad part. My brain will tell me it's on an uneven number. Um, I don't pay attention to the length of the video as much as because if I did, I would know that there were uneven numbers involved. Yeah. Same thing applies to pumping gas. I pick one of the two has to be even. I learned that both of them can't be. So, Gabriel, please, you know, this is not real steady, and you're kind of messing with. I kind of have a makeshift thing that's keeping everything together for me, and it's a blanket, and apparently, it's the one Gabriel likes, at least this morning. Um, so, if I fall over, that's why, because he's pulling my little blanket, because apparently he needs a nest. We will. I don't know. The last 2 days I just seem to be very chatty. Um, may have to do with finally getting to go out and interact with other people in the real world for a change versus being stuck in my house for so many days. And like I said earlier, this is going to be a low-key day just simply because I'm going to do some cooking. I'm going to get my husband set up with breakfasts that are not processed. Um, we had a comical discussion earlier in the week, and we were talking about, I was telling him, so, if you would get on board um, with what I've been trying to do, um, it would make things so much easier and so much healthier for both of us because, I don't mind to cook. I'm limited as to what I want to cook and can cook because, and ladies, my mom can cook boiled eggs perfectly every time on the stove. I salute you if you can. I cannot. Um, Part of it, and you may think that I blame the ADHD a whole lot. I do not blame it. It is just what it is. I have attention deficit disorder. So therefore, if I have a pot boiling on the stove while I'm waiting for it to come to a boil, I'm going to find something else that needs done. My brain just works that way. And the problem with that is that even with a timer, I will put eggs on to boil, and then, and I'll think to myself, well, I'll set this timer and I'll go do this. Well, I will hear the timer go off. When I'm doing something else, my brain kind of has no concept of, okay, the timer went off. Let's go do this. I will think to myself, I got a minute, or something to that effect. And it's not, I'm not that, it's not that horrible. It's just, I have to find ways to make life work for me and to make my world functional. So I have a steamer. I actually have two now because one is smaller, and I have a steamer that I use to boil eggs. I have a smaller steamer that is just designated to help me deprocess. And by that I mean I put my, in the mornings I have poached eggs. Not every morning. I'm trying to get back into, like I said, I'm trying to get back into just eating better, and in the process of, and less processed foods. Anyway, back to the story. My husband and I were talking. I was like, if you would jump on board, because he was without lunches for since Tuesday. This is Saturday. He's had no lunches to take to work. I did not know this. I thought I had him covered. And that was one of my frustrations that I was trying to get across whenever I was speaking with the people on how Jen does its page. Is, I have everything going smoothly, and then boom, something happens with my health and I'm behind. Or I think I'm getting caught up, then something happens and boom, I'm way behind. I have been way behind, I don't know how long now. A part of me kind of just gave up for a bit. Frustration, anger, everything. It was just like, why bother? You know, I get a headache, the dishes don't get done, and gosh, I don't know where that's coming from. Please, dear Lord, don't let me be getting sick. Thanksgiving is right around the corner. Can't have any kind of sick and be around my dad, and that's just not a happening thing. Anyway, we are down to 2 days before I can absolutely rock and say what I want to say about some things a little more openly, because it won't matter. May push it off a little bit to make sure that certain things are in place, which I think is supposed to happen on the 30th. I don't want to jeopardize any fallout from anything that I say. And I guess I do have to apologize to my Uncle Ned that I was talking about yesterday. My dad, when I talked with my mom last night, my dad had called him, so maybe they're in the process of mending their relationship. I guess we all make mistakes. I just can't. I have not seen him. I can tell you, I think I still lived at home the last time I seen him. And one of the times that he was down to visit my mom and dad, I had just come back from Germany with my daughter. And I was at work, and I had an hour left of my shift. and I told him I worked as a dispatcher. And I told him, I hadn't had actual rest for 48 hours because I was a weekend dispatcher. And um, I told, uh, I told him on the phone, I said, if you will give me an hour as soon as I get off work, I will go get my sister. He had not seen either one of our daughters. I said, I'll get my sister and I'll get the girls. We'll come up and see you. You can see our girls. We can see you. I've not seen you in forever. Um, and he very matter of factly said, no. There wasn't no, I'm sorry. There wasn't any. There wasn't any, I'm sorry. I have to go. I can't do it. I have this and this and this to take care of. I have to get back. I understand that. It was just, no. And it's been, my daughter's 27. It's like 25 years. And in 25 years, he's not contacted or been back really really back into um, my world or my dad's world. We've been doing this cancer thing with my dad since my daughter was 5. Neither one of his brothers have been part of it. Joe Newton has been part of it. I'm going to kind of call him Uncle Joe, I do believe. Um, anyway, moving quite forward, I've lost my train of thought again. And I do seem to be kind of ranty. It is what it is. I don't know if this is a rant or just, I'm not going to call it a rant. I think it's just a ramble that's more appropriate. I couldn't believe how long my videos were yesterday because when I did my first video, I talked and talked and talked and it had been 3 minutes. And I'm like, really? I've talked and talked and talked and it's 3 minutes. Really? I have had to reevaluate and pain kind of puts a chip on your shoulder, or if you allow it. And I had somewhat allowed it. So I had to reevaluate myself last night and smack myself into shape, for lack of a better way of putting it. That's, the reason why, like I said, I don't know, this is going to be a low-key day because I'm going to keep my pain level as low as I possibly can, and I'm not going to risk hurting myself because it's very important to me. I want to make it to church in the morning. I've wanted to for an extended period of time, and I'm in town, so I'm going to do my best to make that happen. And that's managing my pain. And you might say, well, you went to Kroger and you did this and you did that. Yes, it's a little bit different. I'm not sitting in a position, I can come home and lay down. I didn't do, I had to do certain things. I had to, while I had the chance, I had to get out and get it done. Which is why today is going to be a low-key day because I was able to do that stuff by the grace of God. And which leads me to another little rant, and I'm going to go there. I have yet to figure out, people, let me tell you something. If you don't believe in God, that's fine with me. I don't agree with you, and I hope that at the end of everything that whatever your belief system is right. That's all I'm going to say. For me personally, I know what I know. I have seen in my life. I am thankful for my Christian heritage. I have seen Christians behave badly. I have seen people behave badly. I have seen other religions behave badly and represent them badly. Here's the thing. Just because somebody is a Christian or a Muslim or whatever does not change the fact that they are people. And I'm sorry, but walking around in this stuff, this flesh, we are subject to make mistakes, and we are subject to mess up, and we are subject to do things that go against how we believe. If that didn't happen, there would be no need for our belief system. Make sense? Um, it's not my place to judge somebody else and tell them, hey, you're doing it wrong. Not my place. The Bible says to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Your own. Now, I said that because you never know. I've made the mistake. I made the mistake a few years back of judging someone based on, I would see them doing things all week long, going to lunch and this, that, and the other. And, because when you post stuff on Facebook, people see it. And then church time would roll around. They wouldn't be there. And I made the comment of, well, they can do all this other stuff during the week, but they can't come to church. And someone said, well, it just kind of works out that way. That comment has literally come back to me. Because there are days that I feel good and I go do things. And some days, my not feel good days, are church days. My days where I can't stand up, church days. Not all of them, but it has come back home to roost, as they say. And your words will do that when you pass judgment on somebody. Absolutely, positively will do that. It is, I can't figure out why someone who claims to be atheist will make it a point to tear apart somebody else's belief system, but yet they don't want you to tear apart theirs. But they're going to call you a hypocrite. Yeah, hello. I can't think of what it was not long ago. That was in the news. I can't. Yeah, and it seems like this whole Muslim thing, Muslims versus Christians, whatever. If you do your history, both of those religions have done some pretty bad things in the name of. Now, I'm not saying that any of it's right or any of it's wrong. I'm just saying that people sometimes, it's very, very easy to think that we're doing the right thing when we're acting within ourselves instead of acting like God says do, acting like the Bible says do this. I have a whole opinion, and part of it is because of my health. I have to be selective. I have to know, and it's sad. When I was growing up in the church, I could go to any church on my district, and I knew what was going to happen. Not planned out minute by minute, second by second, but I had an ideal. I knew that I could sit through that service and be okay health-wise. Okay, now, because for whatever reason we think we have to have the lights and all this stuff in some churches and the really, really loud music, which, folks, I'm all about, I listen to my music loud. But when you have people in your congregation having to turn their hearing aids down or off, or you have someone like me who has Meniere's disease, and I'm leaving service after service after service and driving home as fast as I can because I know vertigo's getting ready to hit because there's too much going on, too much stimulation. That needs to be taken into account. It just does. And I remember I was part of the music department growing up. I sang growing up from the time I was, I guess, 4 on up. I remember we played music for hours It was nothing for us to be still in church between 12 and 1 o'clock. And guess what? We all managed to get up the next morning, make it to school, make it to work. People farmed, people did what they had to do. And we managed to do it. And now we're lucky if we're in church for an hour. How is that right? I don't get it. And they keep talking about, well, we have to appeal to the modern generation. No, you have to treat people the way that Christ says treat people. You have to address their basic needs, where they're at. Hello. I remember the days when ministers and church members would sit outside strip clubs, bars, things of that nature, and reach out to hurting people. Not judging, not condemning, not anything like that. Reach out to hurting people. Offer help. Offer prayer. And amazingly, a lot of those people would end up in our church. Yeah. One of the finest women that I had the pleasure of meeting and knowing growing up was a prostitute at one point. Somebody cared enough about her to show her a different way to live her life. Somebody showed her love and compassion. I don't know. I just don't. I had a point, and I've lost it. I know that, that this part of the discussion comes from. I was scanning videos, and I was watching one, and I was reading through the comments, and there were several atheists that had commented on this girl's video. She was reviewing the movie God's Not Dead. And she was talking about how she came away from the movie encouraged and, positive and this, that, and the other. And so many people just jumped on, several claimed atheists jumped on board, attacking her for her Christian faith. And then other people were attacking her because they were saying, well, you claim to be a Christian, you're a hypocrite because you don't live your life the way that I think you should. That's what it sums up to. We have become a generation of people that instead of saying, oh yeah, I remember when I was there, or I remember when I struggled with something that I couldn't, I had trouble breaking this habit or this addiction or this, I remember. Now I'm not saying that there should not be consequences. Don't get me wrong. If something is done, and if somebody does something that they should not do, whether knowingly or unknowingly, you have to take responsibility for your actions, and with that responsibility comes consequences. That's just the bottom line. That's another thing that the generation that is coming up doesn't understand. They just don't, and good gosh, what a word. Does not understand. They don't get it. A sense of entitlement is ridiculous. Now, I'm not saying that means that we discriminate. I'm saying that we take care of their basic human need and love them and show them and help them and encourage them. And I have two cats fighting on the end of the bed, so if the camera goes pew, you know why. Okay, they've decided to they're not fighting, they're playing. Sergeant Prince. It's a constant. Anyway, what I'm saying is, folks, judging by what is going on in this world today, we are doing it wrong. We are doing it all wrong. The Great Commission that Jesus Christ gave us said, go and tell. Go and tell. It didn't say, look at that person and see if you think they're worthy. judge that person. They're claiming to be Christian, they're claiming to be saved, they're claiming to be this, that, and the other. You decide if they really are. Okay? If somebody had judged me at various portions in my life, and I'm sure that that's probably happened, a lot of mistakes, a lot of things I had to work through, a lot of things I had to grow up through, a lot of things I had to put into place. And I have not got it figured out completely yet. Yet. So, all of that being said, we need to focus less on attacking each other for how we believe. If you're an atheist and you've decided that that's how you're going to believe, that's all well and good. I don't agree with you, but that's, that's your deal, not mine. And that, I'm going to share what I feel compelled to share. I'm going to tell you my story. I'm going to talk to you about things that, you're just going to kind of go, yeah, okay. My world, my life, I can't tell you how many times that there's been a phone call to my mother. I need prayer. Boom, it happened. I can't tell you how many times that my church family has bound together and supported me and helped me get through a bad time or a tough time. Can't tell you. So, and I can't tell you how many times my dad is still here. You can't tell me that just medicine, especially a medicine that when the doctor says most aren't here. You can't tell me that that's just medicine. You just can't. By all rights, my dad should have been gone a long time ago. By what medical history says. By what, what the doctors have said. And I go back to a couple years ago when Dad was supposed to go to Vanderbilt University in Tennessee for a 12-hour surgery and all this other stuff that they were going to do to fix him. But once it got to a point to where they saw the big picture with my dad, Vanderbilt stepped out of the program. They decided they weren't going to do anything for my dad. They thought it was a hopeless cause. They thought there was no reason, to subject him to this, that, and the other. God had a plan. God put him here in Lexington with a fantastic oncologist. Put him here. Our steps are ordered, people. And yes, there is a God. And yes, he gives us free will. We're accountable. Whether you want to accept it or not, we are accountable. It may not be to the God that I believe in your opinion, but we're accountable to somebody. We did not just poof, walk out of water, or however you want to think. We were created. Okay? That's just all there is to it. We were created. And we were, there's just no, if it was an evolution thing, then explain to me why we haven't evolved anymore. If we came from monkeys, however many thousand years ago, how come we haven't evolved anymore? Hello. Yeah. Now, I'm not trying to get everybody all, I'm not trying to put a bee in anybody's bonnet. Like I told you a long time ago, feel free to comment. Share your opinion. My Bible tells me, come, let's reason together. Okay. If you want to talk about why you don't believe in God, that's fine. I'll talk about why I do. We will reason together. We will not argue. Because I respect you as a person. I respect your point of view. I ask for that in return. Okay? And I'm going to, this video is almost 40 minutes long. Oh my gosh. And I really am just kind of procrastinating getting started on what I want to do today. And rambling. Uh, I think we pretty much have everything covered for the moment. I'll probably pop back on. If you find me interesting, great. If you don't, great. Hopefully not every day will there be this long of videos. The last 2 days have been crazy long videos. I don't know. I guess I have help. I'm talking and can't shut up syndrome. But, you know, that's my thoughts for right now. Hopefully I will get some things accomplished. And I'll show you. I know that I need to get, I'm going to try, I think I'm going to put some pintos in the crock pot. And that way I can do some refried beans tomorrow. So I can make burritos and have them in the freezer. I'm going to make burritos and breakfast burritos and wrap them so they're in the freezer. Ready to go for my husband's breakfast and lunch a little bit this weekend for my, you know, for me to eat. And I'm just trying to get a little bit better at doing the things that I'm so bad at doing. Pain, it's easy to become a convenient person whenever there is pain and, you know, chronic pain, migraine, vertigo. You know, you're on this roller coaster merry-go-round, as I call it. It's very easy to slip into, okay, just stop by McDonald's. Okay, well, I looked at my body. And I'm not saying that all fast food, you know, we all know that it's processed food and that it's not the best thing for us. What I'm saying is balance a little bit better, and that's what I need, is some balance. And I have felt better about myself in the last few days, not because everything is perfect in my life, but because I'm realizing, okay, I just have to back up and try again, and I have to try a different way. This is a different time in my life. I've never been at this point in my life. I've been at very, you know, similar situations, but I've never been where I'm at. So I have to back up and say, okay, this is where I am. Let me wake up this morning, look around and see what needs to be done, and what. Oh my gosh! I finished the cottage cheese this morning. Prince likes certain things like that. Frozen yogurt he loves. So I left the container for him to clean, for lack of a better way of putting it. He did. It somehow, while I've been making this video, got knocked in the floor. And now what you hear in the background is a boxer slurping up what she can get. So, never a dull moment in my house. It's not enough that's going to hurt her. There's not enough left. I don't leave, you know, she's just cleaning what's in the bottom. And that's the other thing. The Kongs were always ready. They had them, especially whenever I left. We've gotten out of that habit, and they have bones now. Cinda's teeth need brushed. Cooper's teeth need brushed. We had that going, and it's fallen apart since I came back home. And it needs to happen. Cinda's a boxer, and as they get older, their bottom teeth the gums start to grow up over their teeth, and it's not pleasant. So I need to go back to being a good boxer mom. Um, and I guess what I'm getting at here is that I need the change in my focus has to just not be about me. It has to be within the realms of my pain and my ability. Um, but I've always said that, I always gave my all 100%, and some days it might be, the 100% might be less than the next day. And I'm just going to tell you, I guess part of the reason why I'm talking so much is because there's so much that I want to do today. And in order to keep myself low key, I have to keep myself occupied. And maybe that's the reason why I'm running my mouth. Don't know. Anyway, I'm out for now. See you. Bye.